Good morning, Virginia. This is Virginia This Morning.
Our next guest is a Richmond-based author whose books are filled with suspense and mystery, leaving readers wanting more.
Well, Mary Burton has 2 books coming out just weeks apart, and we are happy to have Mary back with us on Virginia This Morning. Great to see you, Mary.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first, congratulations on this.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Thank you so much. I love writing, and I'm so grateful to be able to keep doing it.
Tell us about the new book, Senseless.
Well, it's set in Northern Virginia. My first 3 books were set right here in the Richmond area, but I kind of moved everybody north, and it's a lot of the same. It's a mystery, it's suspense, lots of murder and mayhem, danger. It's a quick-paced read.
It's interesting because you started out writing some historical novels and some romance novels. What made you switch to the crime mystery genre?
Well, you know, the DC Sniper kind of got me thinking a little bit about that. You know, the tension it created in the Richmond and Northern Virginia area. And it gets a writer thinking, what if? What could happen next, you know? So I started thinking about plot and characters and how could I make things a little bit more suspenseful in my writing, and it just kind of went from there.
Tell us, Mary, you never really have downtime, and when you do downtime, have downtime, you're reading, but you're mostly writing.
Right.
You've had 22 novels since 2000?
21. Merciless will be 21.
21.
And I've written a couple beyond that at this point that aren't out yet. But yeah, I'm typing a lot. I'm working a lot. I'm always thinking, and where's the next story coming
Where do you find the time?
You know, I don't know. I start early. Usually I'm at the computer by 7 o'clock in the morning, and I work till about 3 in the afternoon, and it's just constant typing and thinking, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a fast pace.
You're starting out 2011. Great, though. You've got Senseless that came out in January, and Merciless comes out in February.
Exactly.
Why did you decide to do back-to-back books like this?
It worked out with my publisher. They offered me the opportunity, and I was happy to do it. It just meant, I had to kind of really type a little bit faster, but it worked out well. It worked out well.
Tell us about the plot of Senseless.
It's based on 4 women who were sorority sisters, and something kind of terribly goes wrong 10 years ago. And it's 10 years later, and the women are back in the same town, and they're slowly dying. Different ones are being murdered, and we're trying to figure out who's doing it, and is the heroine, is she the murderer, or is she going to be a victim? And the police are kind of racing against the clock to see who's doing this and why.
So how do you do your research for something like this?
Well, I spent a lot of time up in the Alexandria area. I used to live up there, but I drove up there quite a bit. I read lots of books on police procedure. I even went to the Writers Police Academy in North Carolina this past fall, where they bring in all these experts to show writers how police work and think and solving crime. So I'm constantly looking for resources to add, so I can add interesting tidbits to my books.
Yeah, when you immerse yourself like that into a subject, does that help you once you finally get in front of the computer?
It does, and you do as much research as you possibly can, and then you start to write. And as you write, more questions come up and more research has to be done. And by the time you've finished a book, you are totally immersed in that area, that subject, and those characters.
With these crime novels, some people might ask, well, she wrote romance. What happened to happily ever after?
Well, there's always a happily ever after at the end of these books. It might be a little bit more suspenseful ride, but there's a happy ending.
Is that challenging for you?
It can be.
Different genre?
Yeah, it can be. You're balancing different things. It's a different pace. You're different. It's a longer book. It's about twice as long as the older books, but it's good. I mean, I enjoy every bit of it.
Now, when you immerse yourself in writing these crime novels, do you ever think about like personal safety and giving tips to people about those kind of things?
Absolutely. And there's usually a cautionary tale in every book. Don't cross a dark parking lot on your cell phone. Have be alert. Have your keys in your hand. I'm always kind of reminding people, don't make these mistakes.
Mary, what kind of advice do you have for somebody out there that is kicking an idea around for their book, their novel?
The best thing is just sit in the chair and type and work. I used to promise myself I'd write 5 minutes a day, and that 5 minutes always turned into an hour, or 2 hours, or 3 hours. So if you can just commit to 5 minutes, it will go beyond that, and before you know it, you'll have a manuscript.
And just start writing.
Just start writing.
Yeah, 21 books under your belt. Did you ever think that you would get to this point?
No, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful because when you first start out and you haven't sold and you're wondering and you're doubting, you can just only hope. So I'm very grateful to be where I am.
And you branched out because some of the books were set here in Richmond, and now you've moved to Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia, you know, just to kind of mix it up a little bit, because when you change setting, it changes character, it changes a little bit of the dynamics of the book, just kind of keeps it a little different and interesting.
Well, it keeps it fresh for the author as well.
Exactly, exactly.
Mary, it's always a pleasure. Nice to see you.
Well,
we wish you
thank
continued success, and good luck with the new book, Senseless.
Thank you so much.
And then Merciless coming out next
That's right.
month.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mary.